All right, so today's assignment, we are building a budget and looking at our favorite cars. Your final project will end up looking something similar to this. So this will be your car tab, and then we'll have an expense tab. Not quite as pretty, but we'll add something to it later in another project. So here's how you're going to get started with this. You're going to open a new spreadsheet, and then we're going to just replace this. All right. Okay. Now, once you've got this open, we're just going to kind of brainstorm through, and we do this in class, but we're going to brainstorm through what all of your expenses are. And so the first thing that usually comes up is rent or mortgage. So you'll just want to type these in, and I'm going to recommend that you start in cell B2. If you do that, you'll be able to follow my formulas easier because they will all track properly. The next thing that we have is utilities. And then after that, we have clothes. And the next item is going to be food. Next one you guys came up with was phone, and then car, and insurance for your car as well as your home. The next one is gas, and then we had internet. Oops, if I can spell that right. And then we had monthly expenses. This was just random other things. And then you guys also wanted a category for fun stuff. So we'll do fun expenses. And then last was investments. Okay. Now, in order to make this look better, we're going to go ahead and stretch this column out. And so if you hover your mouse right up here between B and C, you'll notice that it changes its shape. As soon as that happens, I can actually stretch it as far as I want, or if I want it to auto fit, I can just double click on it and it'll auto fit to the longest item I have in that column. So next, we're going to set up our next column so that it's formatted properly. So to do that, we're going to click on C, the column header there. So notice if I click in a cell, it just highlights one thing, but if I click up on the C itself or near it, it'll highlight the whole column. We want the whole column. Then we're going to come up here in the ribbon up top and click on the accounting. And we're going to click on dollars. Okay. So there's a little dollar symbol up there. We'll click on that. Next, we went through this with you guys in class, and so we just looked up for rent, and just kind of looked through some of these and said, okay, what would be a decent rental that's in our general region, and so this one, it doesn't really matter, but we'll just pick something like this for example. Okay, I'm trying to just pick something that'll work. Okay, so just get my spreadsheet back here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just type in $2,400 there, and because we set up the whole column in dollar format, it'll automatically adjust it. Please don't type in commas. Sometimes when you guys type in commas, if I go 2,400 on accident, well, actually corrected it there, but sometimes you guys will do something weird where that doesn't work. But anyways, so let's go ahead and utilities. We guesstimated about $250 a month for utilities. Clothes, we guesstimated about $150. We did $350 for food, $50 for your phone. Your car we're going to leave blank for now because we're going to do that in a minute. And then insurance, we put $350 a month for insurance because y'all aren't that good drivers yet, so insurance is expensive. And then $200 for gas, $100 for internet. Monthly expenses, you guys chose $150. And then 500 for fun. And investments, we're going to just put 100 in there for now. Okay. And then at the bottom here, we want to type a total. And we're going to create our first little simple formula. This is a very easy one. We're going to type the equal sign, and then we're going to type in, well, actually, we'll do this a couple ways. One is we can click this little FX button right up here, right by where we can type in our formulas. There's a little FX. If we go there, and then we type in here SUM, and hit search, it'll come up with, here's a sum function. So I can click on that, and then it gives me this ability to say, okay, what do I want it to add up? And I can click on this drop-down box and highlight whatever I want it to add up, hit enter, and hit OK, and there we go, I have that. It says 4,600. The other way to do this, if I don't want to do that, is I can just come up here, as long as I'm clicked in cell C14, I can come up to the top and there's this auto sum feature. So I can click on that and it will do it, but it messes it up because it stops at the car. If I want to drag that so it fits the whole thing, I can just see how if I hover over this, if I grab it here, it just grabs one cell. It had all of these highlighted. In order to highlight more, I just click and drag. So I could just click and drag the whole thing here. The other option, since it was like this, is I could just grab this. When I move to this top corner here, or this corner over here, it allows me to drag the box. Okay, so now that I've got that, now it says 4,600. There's one more way to do it, and I'll just show you that real quick. If I delete this again, I can just say equals SUM, open parentheses, and I didn't open and close. Open parentheses, and I can just highlight the items that I want added, hit enter, and there we go. So that's our first page. We're good for right now on that. Next, we're going to go ahead and just adjust something down below. Okay. And next, we're going to click on this new sheet over here. And so if you see the little plus button there, I'm just going to click on that. And it opens up this new sheet for me. Okay. Now, in here, I'm going to figure out what are 3 cars that I would like. Okay, dream cars, realistic cars, whatever you want, doesn't matter. So let's go 69 Ford Bronco. Next one would be a car my wife wants, which is a Tesla X, Model X. And if I want, if I'm going to get it for her, I would rather have the Plaid version. And then the last one, let's do, I think it's a 67. We'll find out in a second. 67, and sorry if there's noise from upstairs. My wife and kids are making banana bread, I think, right now. So, 67 Stingray, so Corvette. So that's Stingray. Okay. Let's just capitalize these just to make them look a little bit more official. Again, in order to stretch the column so it's the right width, we're just going to double click there in between the B and C column. Okay. Now, I got to go find prices for these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this, and I'm going to just say, let's see. I wanted a 69 Ford Bronco for sale. Let's see, Classic Auto Trader. And you don't have to have the exact right price on these, but I'm just going to kind of scroll through these, see if I can find one that I think looks good. That one would be all right. I prefer blue, but we'll go with this one. Does it have a price on here? Oh, it's sold. Okay, but it'll work. I've got a price up there, $145. So there it is. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm already in here, I'm going to look through some of these and find a picture that I like. There we go. Let's see if there's one with the top off, because it's convertible. So let's see. Come on. Gotta have one with the top off in here. Or maybe not. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just get back to a decent looking picture and we'll add that one. So in order to add a picture, what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the picture. Let's go. All right here, I'm just going to right click on this picture and say copy image as. I'll left click on the copy image part. And then I need to remember my price, 145,000. And so then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to put in 145,000, hit enter, and then I'm going to right click in here and I'm just going to paste the image. Now the image, oh, this image is a decent size. Usually you're going to have to shrink the image, so I'm going to shrink this one just a little bit. To do that, you're just grabbing the top corner and shrinking it or expanding it, however you need. Now again, my prices are not showing up properly here, so I'm going to click on column C. I'm going to hit the dollar amount, and then I don't want these pennies to show here because these are more expensive vehicles. So I'm going to go up to the top here in the banner and I am going to decrease decimal right over here in the number section. There's a decrease decimal section and I'm just going to decrease it twice so it's just showing how much in dollars it is. Okay. Next I'm going to go find a Tesla Plaid, Tesla Model X Plaid, Tesla Model X Plaid for sale. And my wife likes these because they have the cool butterfly doors on them. But let's see if I can find Auto Trader. Maybe I'll go to Auto Trader. Let's see. Oh, cars. How about that? Oh, Car Gurus. That's what I wanted. That's all right. We'll go here. Model X Plaid. I'm not wanting a white one. Let's go down here. If we're getting one, let's go for this guy. 129,000. Let's see if we can find a decent picture of it. We want the doors open. Come on, have one with the doors open. There we go. We'll get that one. All right. So just right click on it, copy image. And then we're gonna go, and I thought, what was the price on this guy? Price was 129. Okay, so we're gonna type 129,000 there. And then we're gonna right click over here and paste image. Oops, we didn't grab the image for some reason. Let's see if we can. Be just this. Interesting. All right, it's probably just the website, so we'll go back to another website. Let's do Car Gurus. I'm pretty sure there's, where did Car Gurus go? So it doesn't matter where you find these, the price is, you want it to be in the ballpark. There's Car Gurus right in front of me. Ooh, blue, there we go. So let's go ahead and see if, oh, there's only one picture. That's right, we're gonna do this one. Okay, copy image. And then let's see if we can paste that back in here. Okay, and then we'll shrink that down. Then we're gonna do our 67 Stingray. Yeah, there we go. 67. On this one, I actually prefer the hard top, but we'll go. This one's a good looking picture, so we'll go with this one. 129,000. Let's see if there's any better pictures in here. Go with that one. Copy image. Okay. And then let's go ahead and paste that in here. Okay. And let's see. Okay. And then we needed our price from that, which was 129. Okay, so I've got the ballpark range of what I'm going to be spending on each of those. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to come over here to column E because I'm going to go, actually we'll go to column D. We're going to do dollars again. So I'm just clicking on the dollar symbol up there, and then I'm coming to E, and I'm going to click on percent up here, which is right next to the dollar symbol. So I'm going to click on percentage, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in 4% on each of these. So I'm just typing the number 4 in E2, 3, and 4. And then in D2, we're going to do a little trickier formula. So I'm going to go ahead and just come up to the FX up here. And okay, so we are now going to put in our formula for our payment. We're going to find out what our car payment is. The easiest way to do this is we're going to use the FX button up here. And so I'm just going to click on the FX button once I put my cursor in cell D2. And then I know what I'm looking for, but we're just going to, in the search bar up here, we're just going to type in PMT for payment. I could type in payment and it would give me ones as well. But I know this is the one I want, PMT right here. So I can use that. Once I highlight PMT, then I can click OK. And now rate is our interest rate. So that's what the bank is going to loan us money at. So I can just click on E2, and that will put the interest rate that we put there into that cell. And then next, NPER is the number of payments we're going to make. So we're going to do a 5-year loan times 12. So 12 months in a year. So that would be 60 payments over the 5 years. And then the last one here we're going to fill in is present value. And the present value is what the cost of the car is. So I'm just going to click on C2. And then I don't have to worry about future value because we're going to pay the car off, and I don't have to worry about type. And so if I click OK, now it shows that my payment on a 69 Ford Bronco would be $6,400 a month. And I can do that again. I'll just show you. I could, down here, I could do equals, and I could do this a couple of different ways. So I could just type in PMT and then open parentheses, and then I can click on my rate, comma, I can type in 60, comma, and then I can click on my purchase price and hit enter. And that does the same thing as going through that formula assistant that we used before. So, or what I can do is I can just click on the formula above, and since I've set this up like I have, I can just drag that formula down here, and that actually just moved everything. Since we have the same price, I'm going to change this. I think we found one for 120 just so you can see the difference in prices, but it changes the formula so that it just tracks with everything that we've done so far. So now that's cool. I'm going to show you how we can do this same thing. I'm going to go ahead and just delete these two, and I'm going to delete these two, and then there's a problem. If I drag this down like that, it messes it up. Remember, those were in the much higher payments than they're showing now. The reason that messes it up is because it's trying to look over here for an interest rate, and we don't have one. So let me just show you a neat trick to be able to lock in where your interest rate is at. So if I highlight my E2 right here, or just put my cursor there, and then I hit the F4 button at the top of my keyboard, it inserts these two dollar symbols in front of it, and what those do is that locks the position. So now if I hit enter, same value there, but as I drag it down, what it's going to do is it's going to lock the formula so that it's constantly looking back at this spot, the E2. And so that's just a helpful little hack. I can just put the $sign if I wanted to. Let me just fix this. So you can lock one direction or the other. If I take the $sign out from in front of the E and just leave it in front of the 2, it'll do the same thing as I come down because it's locking that second position. So that's helpful because then if I put it in front of the E, then it'll lock it as I go, horizontally across the spreadsheet. So, but anyways, that's that. So now we've got this done. Now we've got a couple more things that we're going to do. One is we're going to go ahead and put a background in here. So if I type in background up in the search bar, there's a little search bar, and in case you haven't come across this yet, there's a search bar right up at the top, has the little tell me what you want to do in it. And if I just type in here background, oh, there's a choose background. I didn't even have to put the whole thing in yet. There's this choose background. You're going to go ahead and find a background that you think is appealing, and takes a minute, not super fast, but then you're going to insert that background so that it creates a nice aesthetic feel for your presentation here. So it is taking a while though. All right, there we go. Now we've got multiple ways that we can do it. We can do from a file on our hard drive, or we can do it from Bing image search. We're going to go ahead and do a Bing image search. I'm just going to do, let's do a sunset. And it comes up with all of these. If you like one of them more than another, you can choose one. You can choose whatever you want. In our other example, we had a cool black background with, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this one right here, and it will just throw in background like this. Now, to make this look better, I'm going to go ahead and change my text color here, or maybe I'll put a background in. Let's see, maybe I'll put a background on it. Let's see, if I do a light background like that, I can just leave my colors. The other way I could do it is, instead of that, I could come in here and say, well, let's change my font color to white. Let's see what that does. It makes it a little more readable than it was, but I'm gonna go back to the little grayed out background. Okay, so now I've got a grayed out background, but darn, these grid lines are just not very attractive in there. So I'm gonna go up here to view, and I'm gonna, in the view here, there's a checkbox for grid lines right over here. And if I click that off, now I've got this much better looking background here, and then I can kind of play with my pictures and move them around, make them look better. Maybe even take out that part of the advertisement on that one. So, but anyways, you get the idea. You can play around with that, do it however you want. Then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here to the sheet, and if I double click down on the tab, see down here on these tabs, if I double click down there, I can name this cars. Okay, and then I can come over to this other one, double click on that, and I can name this expenses. Okay, so now I've got those. Next, I'm going to right click on those tabs. So if I come down to the tab here, right click, I can come up to tab color, and I can just choose a color that I want for that, and come over to my expenses, come to tab color, and say, choose another color for that. So now I've got colors for my tabs. And then last but not least, and then we're going to be done with this, is I want to go to my car, because we left that blank, and I'm just going to type equals in that cell, and then I'm going to come over to this, and I'm going to choose which one of these cars I really want to get, and I'm going to go for the Ford Bronco, and then I'm going to hit enter. The problem with this is, as we notice now, it's showing that I only that I'm negative $1,800 a month. That means, according to this, I'd be making $1,800 a month, but really it's just because we've got a big negative here and all these positives. So we're going to change this from negative to a positive. So how we do that is using some simple math. We're just going to click the multiply symbol, which is, if you turn on your number keypad, it's right above the 9. Otherwise, it's Shift 8 for multiply, and then times, and then we're going to put a negative symbol in there and 1. So we're multiplying it by a negative 1. So times negative 1, and then hit enter. And now we're showing that I need $11,009 a month in order to pay all my bills. Again, I'm just going to click up here on C, go to my home and tab there, and click dollars just so it fixes my formatting again. And so then this is just for our own gee whiz sake. We're going to say if I need $11,000 a month, let's say equals I'm going to go that cell times 12 to see how much I need to make a year. And so I need to make it 100. I need to take home 132,000 a year. And then we'll just use some like back of the napkin math here and say equals this times 1.38, guesstimating what roughly our tax status would be. So that would mean I'd have to have a salary of about 182,000 a year in order to afford that house with that car. Notice my car is a lot more expensive than my house. Probably not a good financial decision. But anyways, and that is our final product that we need there. So you can just go file, save it as, whatever you want to save it as, and then turn this assignment in. And then we're going to use this file in a minute in our next video for our final project for Excel. So go ahead and save that, turn that in, and then we'll go from there.